You're listening to Create Wealth Through Franchising, and I'm your host, Kim Daly. In my 20 years as a franchise consultant, I've helped hundreds of people achieve their dreams of building and scaling franchise businesses to create wealth. The interview you're about to hear can also be found on my YouTube channel, where I post new franchising content multiple times per week. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel at kimdaly.tv. Now, enjoy the show. Welcome back to Kim Daly TV. I have another very special guest for us today. I'm not going to say his name right. I'm going to say the American version of the Nigerian name. His name is Adeola. Adeola, welcome so much. Welcome to Kim Daly TV.
Thank you very much, Kim. It's such a pleasure to be here.
I am so happy to meet you. So Adeola is a fantastic franchisee of a mission-driven franchise that cleans people's houses. Now, as a single working mom, I would say that a business that cleans other people's houses always has a mission. And the mission is to make my life easier. But there's a deeper mission with this particular brand. The name of the brand is called Home Clean Heroes. Adeola, welcome to the conversation, and please share with the viewers of Kim Daly TV a little bit about your life before becoming a franchise owner and why you decided that Home Clean Heroes was the franchise for you.
Well, thank you very much, Kim. I'm glad to be here and happy to share my background, my experience, and the various, what I call the lead up to my decision to buy into the Home Clean Heroes franchise. So from a background standpoint, I'm a Nigerian, grew up there, did my undergrad there, had my first job, I remember there, and then had the opportunity to come to the States to further my education. And I was able to do that in Florida, which is where I have been most of my life in the United States. And after that, I had the opportunity to work in various companies in corporate America, Citigroup, Raymond James Financial, Frito-Lay, a company of PepsiCo, and a couple of other companies. So by and large, I think I probably spent over 20 years, probably close to 25 years in the corporate world, in Nigeria, a few other countries in Africa, in Dublin, Ireland, and in the United States. And my background predominantly is in human resources. That's what I did for most of it, and business operations. And I had the opportunity to actually grow from, entry-level HR guy, analyst, to senior vice president, human resources in one of the Fortune 500 corporations here in the United States. And then I would say this, leading up to my decision to become a business owner and eventually buy the Home Clean Heroes franchise. I think it was probably 2017, 2018. I started feeling that itch. It gets to a point you begin to look at yourself and wonder, okay, I've spent X number of years, 20 plus years in corporate world. What if I invest a certain number of years in my own life, and knowing what I've done and knowing what I could do? What if I invest a number of years in my life? And that was really the trigger. And I started thinking, year one, year two, year three, and I got to a point I started really planning actively. And then in 2020, a number of events, including COVID, hit, and at that point it was just time to do something. And so, quite naturally, with human resources being my background, I once I got out of the corporate world, the first thing I thought about was, okay, why not just set up something in human resources, some kind of consulting company or advisory, which I went ahead and I did. But then again, it was in the middle of COVID, so you can imagine how many clients and how much money I made that, I was able to retire in like 6 months, right?
Well, I guess the answer is no, since you're here.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, I started thinking, okay, you got to be able to do something differently here. I love the idea of being a business owner. I love the idea of having the time to be able to do a lot more things. In addition to all of those things that I do, I'm also a life coach, I mentor, do all of these various things. So I really wanted to still be able to continue to do that, which means I wanted to be able to control my time and also fulfill my passion, which is owning and running and building a business.
And make money.
And so,
And make money.
exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. And so I now haven't built the HR consulting firm, started working on it. It was tough. I decided, okay, my next company, I don't think I want to start from scratch, right?
Okay, Adeola, let me just say this. The easiest people to convince on the value of a franchise are former entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
If you've done it once, you say,
What?
once is enough. Give me the
Exactly.
systems, I'll pay anything for it.
Exactly. Exactly. And you're very, very right. Because the next, my decision was, okay, I want something I can plug and play. It's either a franchise or some business that's already existing. Maybe the owners are looking to retire and I can just take it over, put in some new systems, new management, and things like that. And so I began to explore. And as part of my exploration, I ran into a franchise consultant who spent some good time with me, trying to understand me, my motivators, the things that kind of, demotivate me, just wanted to know me, who are you, Adeola, and all that. And based on that, matched me with a couple of franchise brands. And then I started my due diligence. Home Clean Heroes was one of them. From five, I narrowed it down to three. And then I cut off one, and then it was down to two, which was Home Clean Heroes and another. It was a home care, senior services type brand,
Mhm.
home agency, senior services type brand. So it was down to those two, and went in due diligence, met with the various teams behind this franchise brands, and eventually, apart from things like the ease of becoming a manager managed model much faster, which is Home Clean Heroes, than the other brand. It was really the quality and the length of experience that the folks behind Home Clean Heroes, that's Boss franchise, that they had. That was a big swing for me,
Amazing.
right? And it wasn't only that, it was also the fact that they were readily available. Because I remember coming back from I've forgotten, meet
The discovery day, meet the team day.
the Discovery Day. Exactly, that's what it's called. So I remember coming back home and had questions. And each time I reached out, they were there immediately like that. And for me, that was an indication of how they would support me if I bought into
Amazing.
the franchise.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's how I got to where I am today.
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if this franchise sounds like a fit for you, I would love to be your daily coach. Email me right now for a totally free consultation at inquire@kimdaily.tv. Listen, guys, he's validating everything that the Daily Coach tries to share with you right here on Kim Daily TV. When you invest in a franchise, he said nothing about cleaning, right? He's talking about people. That's why we invest in franchises. It's people, not widgets, right? We're finding people that have a strong experience track record, a demonstrated background that we can lean into, that we believe that they can train us and support us. We buy into the vision, right? We're not buying a franchise for where it is today. We're buying it for where it's going. So they have to have a vision and we have to buy into that vision and they have to be able to communicate it.
Yep.
And then, he had questions and concerns, and they were there for him. They demonstrated to him that they actually cared about him as a human, as a potential franchisee. And he found a place where he felt he could be supported. I love the story. You literally just validated everything that I stand on my little soapbox and try to preach here on the Daily Coach or the Kim Daily TV. So let's continue. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. So it sounds like you began your business sometime it's 2022 at the time of this recording. So how long have you been in business?
Since February of 2021, so I'll give or take 18, 19 months, thereabout.
And so
Correct.
Have you been, how have things been going for you? Let's start there.
You know, I would say reasonably that I've literally experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly. For me, that's okay. That's good because that's what life is about. I'm not sure you can go through life, the whole of life, and just experience it in the good or strictly in the
That would
bad
be
or
heaven on
strictly in the
earth, and
ugly.
that's not what we're here to do.
Exactly.
That comes after.
You know, yeah. But for me, the way I look at things is net net. Once the good outweighs the bad and the ugly, I mean significantly, then you can say it's good. And I can say that's been my experience with Home Clean Heroes. Um, I started, got all the support I could ever imagine, even in the middle of COVID, growth, month over month growth. Of course, the months that typically, from an industry standpoint, where the trend was that things flatlined or things had a dip, even in some cases, I still had growth, or in some cases, my dip wasn't even as deep as what the industry would normally project for a business of my kind. And I attribute this to that support. It's always been there. And then, we face the challenges of, especially in 2022, you face the challenges of the inflation, the economic bite on people's pocket. You have the issues of staffing in the industry. A lot of people have moved to the cool gigs, remote work, delivery and things like that. And cleaning is physical, so you probably have to have some kind of passion for cleanliness and for wanting to do that, to really love to work in this. So those are experiences, challenging experiences that I have had. But overall, net net, I can tell you, I don't regret the decision one bit. The things that come, and maybe because it's also of my experience in the corporate world, where you tend to see all of the cycles and you see how, either as a senior manager or as an executive, you kind of plan for things like this. You anticipate it, you plan for it. So when it comes, really, okay, yeah, yeah, normal, it's going to happen. And you're already looking at the next thing. When is that next, upward trajectory going to come? And that's what you're looking forward to. So, back to your question, which is the experience has been great. I've had my challenges induced by the industry, but overall, I have no regrets. I love what I'm doing, and I want to keep doing it, scaling when the time comes, and building the empire I want to build.
I love it. So, when you're in your business every day, Adeola, what is the role that you play as the CEO of your business?
I in the initial when we started, I did clean,
You did?
right?
Was that
I
part of the
did.
process or was that part of your process?
I think it was both. I wanted to experience, I wanted to see. You see, for me, I remember I had my first set of employees were 4 people that I hired. And while I trained them, I wanted to be able to experience what they experience when they go into the home.
Fair enough. Mhm.
So that way, whenever they came back to me and we're talking, I could relate. I could put myself in their context and understand, what they were saying, why they were saying it, and things like that. So yes, I cleaned for that purpose. I also cleaned for the fact that I ran into situations where 1, 2 employees called out because they were sick, they couldn't come to work, we couldn't have somebody to draft in immediately, and we had to satisfy our customers. We had to fulfill, the promise we had made to them. And so rolled up my sleeves, did what I had to do, go clean. So it happened, a number of times in the early days when I started. But since then, we've grown. We have people. We've built a system of floaters where we can always pull people in, when our full time, employees, call out or are unable to come to work. But I tell you, I still try, like once in a month, once every 6 weeks, thereabout. I still try. I roll up my sleeves. I go clean.
Amazing. And does it
Yeah.
make do you feel it makes you a better leader? because your employees see you leading from the level that they're at versus like up, looking down on them?
I don't know whether I want to say makes me a better leader, but I think it puts me in a situation where I understand that better. So if the idea of having a better understanding and being able to connect more with your people translates to is one of the attributes of being a good great leader, then maybe that is what it is. But for me, and quite frankly, it's not so much that they can see me clean, you know, it's number one, a lot of times we make changes, and when I say changes, it's not like changing the system or anything like that. But there's some little things that we say, okay, try the system. We normally use the solution, but as part of our research, we found out that maybe adding more water or less water to the solution kind of makes it. And so sometimes it's really me also going in and trying to see, okay, from a real life standpoint, how does this thing work? Right? Sometimes I get some reports. I look at my data because we have a quality assurance process and there's a checklist, and the QA inspector does all of that, brings it back. I look at it and I'm seeing some patterns and I'm seeing certain things that begins to prick my, thinking. And so sometimes I want to validate some of those things. So I go in and I, walk just to be able to validate some of the things I am seeing, hearing, or thinking.
Hey, Daily Coach fans, if you're inspired by this conversation, I invite you to email me right now to explore this franchise opportunity. My email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I mean, imagine if someone said, I'm going to start a cleaning service and just buys some vacuums and mops and goes out there. I mean, by the structure of the franchise, you have these systems and processes and tools in place that allow you to be monitoring quality assurance when you're not in every house, that allow you then to be that, operator that you were in corporate America, but using those skills for yourself. It's so great. I mean, you're validating so much wisdom here, so much gold that I think my viewers are just, hopefully they're eating it up because I'm eating it up. So, Adeola, what are you most looking forward to now that you know that you are completely unemployable? What are you looking forward to in the next 1, 3, 5 years in your life as a business owner?
Well, 1 year from now is hoping that we are family on ground here in the Tampa Bay area, fully rooted here. Um, we're still growing. I can tell you there's still a number of things that we're still trying to get right, as part of the learning process.
Won't that be
Uh,
forever as a business owner?
well, that's exactly because, things happen, the dynamics get thrown up. But yeah, so that is 1 year to really get established, rooted in the community, and then between 1 year from now and 3 years to begin to see how do we open more territories, because currently we're running in just one of our territories, right? So the idea is opening up one or two more territories after this. And then once we see that, how do we probably scale beyond the three territories that we originally have? That's number one. And then number two, are there related type businesses that can benefit from the synergies, from some kind of synergy
Nice vision.
that we can bring into the portfolio, right?
Nice.
So those are kind of that's my vision in the next 1 to 5 years thereabout.
And are you fully bought in that if you start another business, even a synergistic business, that you would explore another franchise, or might that be another entrepreneurial startup?
My goal really is to build a corporation of franchise and non-franchise brands, right? And based on the plan that we have, and when I say we, my wife and I, we're both entrepreneurs. She has her own business as well. Based on the plan that we have, there are some ideas that are really start off brand new ideas. It's not been out there that we foresee that probably in another 2 3 years, people will begin to hear about them. There are some ideas around buying probably some level of mature businesses with growth potentials, and we can bring our own management capabilities, our personality, and things like that, and knowledge. We can bring it and extract more value and growth out of those kind of businesses. And then there are some ideas around some franchise brands that we think are going to be synergistic, and we may add to the portfolio down the line. So it's an all of the above type, strategy that we have. But we're going to be very, very thoughtful. We're going to be very, very prudent in the use of our resources and the decisions that we make.
It's amazing. And all because he dared to take the leap during a pandemic into business ownership as an entrepreneur. Didn't go quite the way that he wanted it to go, so he pivoted to franchising. Now he's found a future, and now he knows 1 year into it he's completely unemployable. Adeola, you are amazing. You are so inspiring to me. Thank you so much for being my guest today on Kim Daly TV.
You are welcome. Glad to be here. Thanks for the
I didn't
opportunity.
get to help you get to Home Clean Heroes, but you are the person that I wake up to find. You are the person that I hope to be able to help change the course of the life and lead you to the great franchise like Home Clean Heroes that you're a part of now. I'm so happy for you, and I really wish you all the best building that empire of yours in Tampa Bay.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you very
so
much.
much for joining today. For anybody out there who is inspired, like I am, by this conversation, who wants to begin their journey to explore franchise opportunities, please follow the email on the screen below or contact me directly at inquire@kimdaly.tv. Until next time, my name is Kim Daly, and I want to be your daily coach. If you found this inspiring, please contact me at inquire@kimdaly.tv. My consulting services are totally free to you. Again, that email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I can't wait to hear from you.